So what's the prediction for tonight's matchup? Do you have Lizards or Execution?
I don't do predictions.
You don't do predictions, okay?
No, I don't like them. I think I'd rather talk about the like for me personally, talking about the factors of the game, like talking about the game as it's happening, because like the weird thing about this game is that you never know what the teams are going to look like before they get in and start playing, and like you don't know who's going to feel the most comfortable. You don't know who's on top of their game. So it's really hard to make predictions. I think either team could win, and I don't think, if I had to make a prediction in like the last series, like I would have picked EBS every game. But like I feel like that was pretty obvious. I'd say that the
So
series,
how about not a prediction, but
yeah,
is there a team you would rather see win?
no. I think both of these teams have had really good seasons. I like the way Lizird Strikirs plays. I want to see more of them. I want to see them succeed. I think Execution has had a really good season so far. They've taken all of this talent and put it together in a package that got the first seed, which is what they wanted to do. That was the goal.
It was definitely solid.
Yeah, that was the goal for the regular season, and they did it. They did what they wanted to do. So we'll see how they perform in the playoffs. And it's always different in the playoffs. And I'm just honestly really excited to watch this game. Like I don't even not even from like a commentator point of view, but just like as a fan, I'm super excited to watch this series.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think that like getting to see Lizards go up against the top team in the league, one of the only teams that defeated Execution in the regular season. They have such a powerful offense, and then seeing how like Execution does. I like watching these guys play. I don't feel like I got to watch them enough, but watching a team with Nana and Dross and Blue Goku and Rage on it, like it's like kind of like a dream to be able to watch those guys play together, because I think that they could have made this team before in the past, and for whatever reason it was, these talented players never combined on the same team before. So it's pretty interesting. You have a lot of talent, a lot of career goals on the front line of Execution.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good matchup.
Oi, mates.
Oi.
Boy,
Sorry for the delay. I had to get here from Australia. Takes a while, with the
You were
oceans and
sleeping?
all.
Or your arm's tired.
Whoa there, cowboy.
I didn't tell him anything.
Let's keep it PG here, Evo.
Wow, man, that's the way you take that joke? I guess that hasn't gotten to Australia yet.
All right, I'll see you guys for the post game. I gotta head off.
All right, thank you.
Take care, buddy.
Thank you later.
I mean, it was really big in the 50s, I think. So eventually, it'll get to you eventually in Australia.
Cozy here, and welcome.
What? The Beatles?
Of the RSHL playoffs between Execution
Elvis Presley?
and the Lizird Strikirs. Execution are heading in as the heavy favorites, and they look to continue their strong season. Spearheaded by Captain Image, he built a strong roster composed of core players like CM Dross, Rage, Banana.
All right, so it looks like they're almost ready for, let's say, kickoff.
Towards playoff supremacy. Meanwhile, the Lizards are looking to continue their momentum too. Coming off a huge victory against the Banditos and currently on a 3-game winning streak, they're going to have to come out big. Bacon, Jarix, and Botman 2, taking the role of the underdogs this playoff, will have to play tightly against the top seed. Both goalies will have to come out huge, with Boogeyman having a great season as well. As we approach the drop, with Revolution, Stephanie, and WW in the broadcast booth, come and join us on Discord and listen in as they call the game. The puck is dropping soon. Execute them!
All right. Fantastic interview with Kazi pre-game. I felt like I was the one being interviewed, but it's cool. I think we got a lot of good conversation there. Fantastic intro by Kazi too. That's really fun. I love the fact that we're doing these things. I love that we're getting all these personalities in to do these pre-game introductions.
Yeah, sorry about that. I did show up late and didn't have the itinerary in front of me.
Oh, it's okay, man. It's okay. I think you were just it's cool. Like right at the beginning, I think you were talking about like Led Zeppelin and the Beatles or something.
Yeah, I need to actually activate my music in game. It'll probably help.
Yeah, right. All right, it looks like we're gonna get a drop puck here. Alastria is going back to the Leviathan for Lizard Strikirs. These are the lines that I think everybody would have expected. These are the top lines for both teams starting in this first period. Really good ball movement by Execution to start this game. We have Lizard Strikirs working through, working on the offensive end. Creature looking for bacon. Going for the home run play there right at the beginning of the game. Execution back with the ball, working in their own midfield. Or their own end of the midfield, working through. Rage causing some issues there. Drost ends up picking up a ball. Look, I think he was looking for the Alastria DC, but missed. Blue Goku with the ball, gets it back to Nana, who gets it back to Image. Kind of caught Crazy Penguin sleeping there. The ball movement was a little bit too fast, and he froze a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like Execution just did to Lizard Strikirs, or Lizard Strikirs have been doing to everybody else at the moment.
Yeah.
They just came out swinging, and Lizards didn't have a time to even settle into the game before they got a goal conceded against.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, also, it was just that, like, the ball movement was so quick on that bottom half of the net. Like, Crazy Penguin was not in a bad position. But he really wasn't able to react because he didn't know where the ball was going to go. Oh, boy. Kind of a lag issue there. Nothing came out of it, though. Execution with the ball here. Trying to work the same side again and get Crazy Penguin moving. This could be part of a pregame strategy, possibly. Working on the side opposite of Alastria. Lizard Strikirs working with the ball offensively. Jowrix tries to go in, but the best midfielder in the game gets the check. Rage trying to sneak one in there on the bottom side. Lizard Strikirs is going to be working out of their end. Creature and Jowrix working. Bacon up to Creature. Had a couple options there. The defense was starting to close in, though. Execution does get the ball back. Banana Squadron able to get around Alastria. Good defense by Bacon to block that pass. Block the passing lane up to Rage on the top side. Image with a big check for his team. You have Execution going into Lizard Strikirs' end. Blue Goku again.
Oh.
Pulls the goalie down with a slight delay. Gets the shot going top.
Yeah, just shell shocked is all I could say.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. It feels like their defense is not reacting. I don't think that they are, because you had Blue Goku in there as the trailer on the bottom, and nobody blocked him. Nobody was there for him.
Yeah, and it seemed like Execution even had a few partial breakaways. It's like Rage here now. It seems like Strikers are committing a lot of people forward, and they're just leaving Alastria kind of back there to deal with multiple people by himself.
Yeah, but on both goals, they had multiple defenders back, but they weren't actually blocking the plays that Execution was trying to do. They were there.
Yeah,
Like,
they
were
were.
in
They
the
seem to be a
vicinity.
bit further away from the crease to make a
they're-
defensive impact. They may be
Yeah.
just looking for maybe a change of possession and trying to get their own quick breakaway offense going, but
that is
that's
the way
not going to
their
work
brains
if
work.
they concede.
Yeah, that is how their brains work, man. I mean, that's how this team plays. Yeah, but we'll have to see. They did decide to go with Alastria back in the Leviathan, not in the Spider. Oh, really nice push forward by Creature there. Had Bacon cutting on the bottom, but wasn't able to connect the pass. Yeah, and Execution has the ball back. Dro's working here. Rage to Banana, back to Rage. Has space, looking to do the fade. Don't believe that was open, even without the phase there. Lizard Strikirs is going to be returning the ball into the midfield. They are suffocating Creature right now on the javelin. Just having a really hard time creating anything. Creature to Bop. They have Bacon and Jowrix jumping forward. Like, even before the play develops, they are jumping players forward, hoping to find a connection, and hoping that something opens up.
Creature with the good steal, but had 0 teammates supporting him.
Yeah,
And that was
absolutely.
kind of the opportunity that they needed to actually push forward. And it just seems like their timing is a bit off in how to position themselves.
Yeah, it definitely could be. Yeah, Banana here. Oh, nice check backwards by Jowrix. Gatto's able to pick up the ball, though. Execution working with the ball. Gatto's by himself. He does have a cutting image. Gets checked off the ball by Alastria, though. Rough play there. I mean, if you're counting on being able to check that javelin off the ball as a Leviathan and it doesn't happen, like, your team is going to be in a really bad position. Lizard Strikirs gets possession of the ball. They end up losing it in Execution's end without really threatening. Execution returning the ball through midfield. They have a missed pass. Alastria picking it up. Checked by Image. Has space. Goes for the cut. The cut towards the top. And I guess you'd call that kind of a fade shot. Ends up missing the net, though. Yeah, right now, Lizard Strikirs just has no space. Offensively or through the midfield. They're going to have to work out a strategy here to be able to get some chances on Boogeyman. Currently, they only have 1 shot in the game. Yarrington's picking up the ball behind the net. Gets to Creature. They're looking to go for a reset. Gets it to Bop on the bottom side. Doesn't have any immediate teammates. It's going to have to go through Execution to get there. Ill-advised ass pass there. Which, I mean, in all honesty, like, if they're used to it and they're good with it, that could be, plays like that could be a way to get Execution out of position. But if the team communication isn't great, it could hurt them more than it helps. They are working the ball back in. Nice patience, nice possession here by Lizard Strikirs. Bob tries to go for a pass. Creature's thinking slap shot. The play does end up fizzling out, and Execution does have the ball back here, working through the midfield. Nana has a cutting Rage, decides to go backwards. Dros gets the ball back to Rage, working with Image. Yeah, Nana tries to go in for another tank on Jowrix. His bullets are hitting hard tonight. Ends up taking him out. Bacon has space here. Finds Jowrix with a fantastic pass. Saved up enough energy to thrust his way forward and get that pass in behind the defender to Jowrix. So we do get an answer from Lizard Strikirs.
Yeah, they Bacon had like 1 pixel to land that pass, and he landed it perfectly.
It was incredible. Ooh.
And that just shows that the Lizards just need 1 breakaway opportunity to make them pay for it.
Ooh. Rage had space there. Crazy Penguin stuck with him the entire time, right off of the face-off. Bacon working here. Tries to cut around. Ooh, Dross literally saving a goal there. Jowrix was going to go bottom side. Probably had the goaltender beat. Really nice defense by Dross there to block that. Lizard Strikirs here with a ball decides to take out Image, and he goes down. Bop working with Bacon. Dross with another huge check. They do get the ball up to Rage in the offensive zone. Banana to Dross. Dross misses a pass back to Rage. Gato's there to pick it up. Jowrix bullets again. End up taking him out. Jowrix looking for a death pass to Bacon, but misses. Ends up getting it back. Bop has it. Gets it to Bacon. Really fantastic chance there. Boogeyman was all over. Banana working with Image. Finds Banana. Tries to go top side. It really feels like even though, with the early pressure, Crazy Penguin really seems to be settling in. He's made a couple fantastic saves. Another fantastic check by CM Dross, giving them an opportunity here. Gets around Alastria. Bacon is there again on the back check, covering defensively. Fantastic play, stopping a goal. Jowrix working with Image. Ends up taking out the javelin. Man, somebody check those guys' bullets. I think they might be level 2. Creature ends up getting the ball back to Alastria, who puts it into the corner. I think they're going to be able to get this rotation back to Creature, maintain possession. They were in a tough spot there, but it gets thrown away. They do pick the ball back up, though. Give it right back to Rage, who's cutting in, only working on Alastria and Crazy Penguin. Tries to get Crazy Penguin moving high a little bit, but he stands up, makes that save. Lizard Strikirs with another failed offensive possession right there at the blue line. When they do get in, it's starting to look good, but if they're not able to get past the blue line, because of multiple members, Image is playing really well on the blue line, so is CM Dross. So a lot of their possessions are stopping right there. Turnover, Banana Squadron picks it up, gets it to CM Dross to maintain possession, who does the full reset. Rage has 2 options here. Gets it to Banana. Back to Rage, back to Banana. Doesn't have an opening. Still within possession. Nice resets here on this possession by execution. Dross gets it to Banana. Has room. Nobody's there to cover. The defensive breakdown, it doesn't always make sense that it happens, but it happens in these extended possessions. So Dross finds Banana, dodges Creature, who goes in for the check instead of covering. Instead of covering defensively, which pulled him right out. And, when you have a Weasel in the slot there, if he can go high, he can go low, he can go wherever he wants. That's just the skill of the Weasel.
And what Banana did there was he kind of faked the pass to Image and made a few of the defenders bite.
Yeah.
Crazy Penguin did his best to try to still cover Banana, but just got a really good corner shot. And obviously, a Weasel shooting from that close to the goal is going to be hard to stop.
Yeah. That spot of the ice is, if a Weasel has the ball there, they could go anywhere they. It's so hard to stop. But yeah, honestly, yeah, like focusing on Banana faking the pass there too, which he definitely did. Honestly, just a brilliant play by him with the dodge, pulling defenders out with it. Oh my god, looking for the shot on the bottom half. But yeah, everything he did that play was brilliant. getting really loose here. Image with 2 chances, unable to put one in right here at the end of the first period with 15 seconds left. Lizard's working in the offensive zone. Bacon decides to go in on 3 defenders. Not going to be able to. Ooh. Yeah, it's not going to be able to convert on that. They end up throwing the ball away on a possible offensive chance. But that is execution, scoring 3 goals in the first period with Lizard Strikirs only scoring 1. I'd say dominant first.
So Lizards scored off like just a clear mishap in possession. Banana Squadron tried to crash through multiple defenders on the offensive blue line, and it just led for the quick turnaround, the 2v1 against Gatto. Gatto obviously trying his best to cut off the pass, but Bacon landed the 1 out of 10 perfect passes that you'll do a game to get the goal.
Right.
Any other rotation tick left or right would have missed it. So
Absolutely.
they just had the one clear breakaway opportunity and they landed it.
Yeah, I mean they definitely finished off the one real offensive chance that they had, which sometimes works, but not if execution is putting up 3 goals in the first period. So I think I would say a dominant period by execution.
And the possession and the game sort of evened out a bit towards the end of the period. It was just the first 2 minutes that was kind of an onslaught, and then after that, Lizard slowly started to get their bearings and made it a bit more even towards the last few minutes.
Yeah, I mean the first few minutes of the game were looking extremely rough for Lizards. To get out of that, only down by 2 goals, I think is great. The backbreaker really is that 3rd goal, where they had everything defensively covered, but there ended up being a defensive breakdown, which allowed Nana to get into a really nice shooting position. But we're going to be starting up the second period here in a few seconds if the teams are ready.
So it looks like we have C&M in for Dross going into the second period, and Azaline in for Botman.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, those are changes that they do a lot. I think Azaline and Bop are pretty interchangeable depending on who's playing the best. I don't know if Bop's style of play was really helping in that first period. And I think Dross is normally the sub. Ooh, Aaron passed there. Jargs ends up picking it up, but really nothing to work with. And Dross usually is the sub for Cereal and Milk. Image working with the ball there. So dangerous. That guy, I mean, he has 2 goals already this game. And he looks dangerous every time he has the ball in the offensive zone. Like, he is just shooting for those corners. Chris Penguin doing a really good job of keeping him off the score sheet after the first few minutes of the game where he scored 2 goals. We'll see. So you do have Cereal and Milk in the Spider. We'll see how that changes. Executions play defensively. CM Dross had a fantastic period in the first. I think he was a huge reason why they struggled. Why Lizard struggled offensively. Lizard's working with the ball here out of their end. Azaline finds Bacon. Azaline with a nice pass to Creature, unable to do anything with it. Ends up in a turnover. Wait, Whitmer wasn't in the first, right? What did we miss? It's Roy Kent.
Gatto.
Oh, Gatto.
It's
Yeah, there we go.
Gatto.
Guys. There we go, guys.
Blacken.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I just saw him and I was like, well, wait a minute. Who else is missing? So, yeah. So what we're looking at is a CNM sub for Gatto, and then a Whitmer sub for CM Purpose. That makes more sense in my. Honestly, that just feels like an ice time issue. I don't think that's a strategic thing. I think they're just working other players into the game. Lizird just working here with the ball. I think that was a nice ass pass, but he wasn't able to connect with anybody. Lizird Strikirs ends up getting possession of the ball, ends up phasing back into their own end. Alastria carrying here, looking for the breakout pass to Bacon. He gets around the spider, but doesn't have any help. Execution, working with the ball here. Steve Whitmer working with Banana Squadron gets another strike by a creature there on the lunge. Isn't able to connect. They're not able to punish him for it.
Yeah, even with CNM subbing in Gatto as a defensive spider, he's already made a few strong offensive pinches, which is going to change up the way that execution rotate and cycle the play, because normally Gatto would be a bit more defensively minded, but now we have CNM here who is always going to take any opportunity to move forward and take a shot. G'day to Tool as well. Nice to see you here, mate.
All right, Banana Squadron with room here. Looking to go to image. Alastria is able to prox the ball there. Lizird Strikirs on the return. Looking to attack. Jarix carrying the ball. Finds Azaline top. Still disconnected from his teammates. Just doing a rotation on the outside. But that's kind of what you have to do against this defense. See, as soon as you force it, as soon as you try to force something, you're gonna lose possession. Rage going for the TM there. Craze Penguin all over it though. Bacon working with Jarix. Nice slap. I love the idea. Unfortunately, he missed the net. That is the kind of play that can possibly catch Boogeyman off guard. Banana Squadron working with Image. Gets checked out of the play. Jarix is here with Azaline. Oh, had a streaking Bacon. Gets it back to Creature though. Unable to produce an offensive chance there though. They kind of stuttered right there at the finish line. Image taking a couple shots from Jarix. Execution working the ball in. Finds Image. Back to Rage. Alastria completely on top of that. Nice defensive play by him. Honestly, after the rest of his team got out of position. Bacon here working. Tries to get the ball topside to Azaline, but execution was all over it. Quick return here. Bacon's able to get the ball off of Rage. Ends up dying immediately, but his team is able to maintain possession. Ooh, rough pass by Bacon. They do recover though. Creature with the ball. Lizird Strikirs working through midfield. Jarix finds Creature. Tries to go through the heart of the defense. They're all set up. Ship's facing forward. That's tough. That's tough to work through that area. Execution working with the ball. Almost a fantastic pass there. He passes to open space in between those players. Lizird Strikirs gets stood up in the midfield again. Kind of an errant pass, a couple errant passes now. Let's see who's able to take control of this ball. Looks like Lizird Strikirs is going to be able to work the ball out of their end. Immediately turns it over. CNM has space. He's going to go for the shot here.
Oh, CNM also almost went for the Zeppelin shot there, like he did in SummerSlam, but just didn't get it.
Yeah. the angle was a little off too. Like that was, I don't know, that maybe that's like 70% Zeppelin.
Yeah, that just shows that Tim was really Zeppelin and not CNM, because that he would have buried that if he was.
Oh, that's funny. Ooh, a lot of players dying there in the midfield. Blue Goku ends up picking up the ball. Not able to produce anything here. I think both of these teams have slowed down offensively, like pretty significant. Cereal and Milk working with the ball, gets it to Banana. Banana looking to get it back. Unable to make the pass. Outside of like a few chances that I can think of, I think both teams have really struggled to perform offensively, which is definitely in Execution's favor with the 2-goal lead. Could have something to do with those lineup changes. Not totally sure.
Yeah, so CNM's been kind of pinching on offense a lot more that Gatto would have been doing, and that left Rage kind of hovering back in Warbird. He's now 2v1 with Whitmare, but
Yeah,
Atlasia,
exactly.
beautiful positioning and just puts the bullet straight through him. But yeah, what I was saying is CNM's been pinching a lot more on offense, and that's just leaving Rage to have to trail back and not having the Warbird up in the offensive line is just possibly not allowing any more opportunities than what happened in the first period.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a good idea. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, just speak of the devil right now, where Rage is there up there with the Warbird.
Reverse commentator curse.
Yeah, the commentator praise.
Yeah, just a fantastic play there. Image gets the ball to Banana Squadron, who's in a much better position to make that pass. Finds Rage clearly on the other side. Nobody picks him up. The defense was out of position. Yeah, just undressed. I mean, honestly, just undressed. It did take them 7.5 minutes to get it here. But they were able to stop Lizird Strikirs for an entire period. Ends up adding another goal to their total and increasing their lead to 3 goals in game 1.
Yeah, and I guess they had a two player change of line from period 1 to period 2, which is not, as you said, not normally what would happen. Normally it'd just be like a single player or leaving the lineup that's currently performing well. So the first few minutes of the period just had a bit of adjusting with the Steve Whitmare in the Terrier and CNM in the Spider, and we all know that CNM's a good defensive player, but he does have the offensive mindset to want to pinch forward and try to get opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, the ships are the same. The players are very different. You know? So, yeah, you're definitely going to see a lot of different play. And execution is so good that, if they don't feel comfortable that things are being covered effectively, they'll sacrifice offensive possession to make sure that somebody is covering defensively. I think they're all aware of that. All of these guys have played, hundreds of RSHL games.
Yeah, and I'd say that with the current lineup and the positioning of execution, this is probably Lizard's best chance to try to get these breakaway chances and goal scoring shots, because the defensive last man back is rotating between different players. They don't have Gatto, which is a dedicated defender at the moment, and also Dross isn't there, who has been, the first period was kind of the best defender on the ice, and Dross is not in there at the moment also.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with everything you're saying. But it hasn't happened. I mean, and that's just kind of like showing the flexibility and the adaptability and the depth of this execution team.
Just want to quickly mention Alastria has been replaced by Bop, so he's back in.
Okay, yeah, this is the line. This is the overtime winning line that they like to put in, where they drop the defender. So they're going to be rotating that last man back completely. None of these guys are going to be a dedicated defender here. They're down by 3 goals. They're going to try to create something here at the end of the second period to try to get back in this game.
Yeah, and by subbing or Banana Squadron here with a chance, defense just dived back to cut it off, and Azuline in a good position on the
Like
crease.
last second dives though.
Yeah, and so Alastria not being there in the Leviathan is, basically Lizard Striker trying their most offensive lineup that they can to get some goals back.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they're doing. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what comes of it because it's going to lead to chances for execution. Whenever the team takes out that dedicated defender, it leaves a huge gap. There's going to be a lot more space out there for execution to work with. We'll see what they can do. So far, Lizard Strikers hasn't been able to produce any offense out of it. As soon as I say that, they get possession of the ball. Bacon working with Azuline has Bob Top. An unfortunate phase there. I think he had two players, Proxes, fighting over the ball. Execution is able to get it back. We're down to a minute and a half in the second period. Rage working with the ball. Bacon with a nice check. Banana's there to pick it up though. Execution is able to maintain possession. Banana has Whitmer low, also working with Image. Decides to not go for the pass. Turns it over. Do they get it back? No. Lizard Strikers recovers. Azuline gets the ball from Jowrix. Working with Jowrix there. Had two players in front of him to try to score. I mean, that's not just a crease sit. That's a double crease sit. Like, that is fantastic defense. Literally blocking the only way that they could have scored a goal. Rage, working with Image, tries to go with the only shot he had to try to beat him to the post, but Craze Penguin was on top of it. So now we're down to 30 seconds left in the period. Banana Squadron, fantastic pass to Image. Looking to kind of shimmy his way through the D and get a chance. He almost got it. Unable to get the full rotation, though. Jowrix working with Bob. His entire team's below him. Bacon decides to keep. I think a pass back to Jowrix there would have been great, but doesn't get it. Now here at the end of the period, Steve Whitmer with a great chance. Working with Banana Squadron, unable to beat Crazed Penguin. So we do finish the period 4-1. So Lizard Strikers survives defensively, and Execution is able to hold off the much more offensively geared lineup of Lizard Strikers at the end of that second period. So we are still looking at a 3-goal deficit for them. If there is a team in the league that is capable of coming back from a 3-goal deficit, it is the Lizard Strikers.
Yeah, it was an interesting period because Execution showing a less defensive-minded lineup, and
Right.
Lizard Strikers not really having as good of a clear chance as they did the first period. Kind of just shows that perhaps Lizard Strikers didn't play the best that they could have the second period, because the opportunities could have been there with how the lineup was and how offensive C&M was going on the occasions that he had possession. But it just seemed like that because C&M was being extra offensive as a defending player, it just had to leave the Lizards sitting back on their crease more and not able to produce the breakaways that they were looking for.
Yeah, that is true too. That's a fantastic way of looking at it. Like, it did leave them more vulnerable defensively, but it also hurt the way that Lizard Strikers likes to play as far as the counterattacks. Like, if you have, the fifth player on Execution being active offensively, it does make defending against them a lot harder, and it makes it a lot harder to jump forward when they think that the ball is going to be changing possession. We are about to start the third period. 3-goal deficit for Lizard Strikirs.
And so we have Dross subbing in for Image.
Yeah, you're gonna see Image out here. Dro subbing in. Execution working with the ball here. I mean, it's hard to say if this is a better opportunity for Lizard Strikirs or if last period was.
I'd say it's probably not on paper because now they have two faster Terriers out there and also CM Dross's great defending ability.
But I think with this lineup, the way that they've been able to dominate the possession game with Blue Goku on the ice, it I think could change. So we might see
Yeah, we might see more possession from Lizards
Yeah,
and
I
less
think-
hold-up play from Execution because
Yeah.
Lizards have the jab in. Execution do not have the jab in.
Bacon trying to streak top there.
But I think between CNM and Dross with defending and midfielding, they'll both have a better chemistry in rotation to attack and defense between them two.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's hard to predict. And I mean that honestly just kind of shows like how deep this execution bench is. That can put all these players out here, and we're trying to decide whether it's an advantage or not because of how good all of these players are.
Yeah, they're definitely the Manchester United of Hockey Zone at the moment, where they have, their Ronaldo werewolf on the bench that doesn't need to even be called up here.
They don't even need you, man. They don't even need you to win this playoff game. Banana Squadron working with the ball here on the bottom side. Ends up getting space. Tries to go in solo. Not able to get it off. Creature with the ball there. Was unsure of what to do with it. Jarrek's working below. Boogeyman, great positioning there on the Weasel snipe. So this is it here. This is going to be Rage coming in. Hits him with the TM. Literally pointed his ship towards that shot the entire time. Got Crazed Penguin. Moving high as he was moving. Unable to read it.
Yep, and that's the detriment of not having Elastria in the levy back there, because what people thought wouldn't happen is, Execution breaking away against Lizard Strikirs, which, hasn't happened much because of their last man back. But now, because they're just trying to put all out on offense, it's going to leave those gaps open. And who else are you going to rely on to score a goal like that? And that's Rage.
Yeah, absolutely. Literally the last person that Lizard Strikirs wanted to see with the ball there. Bob working with it. Trying to get through that wall of defenders. Not a lot to work with there. But, I mean, that was bound to happen. If you're doing a full rotation like this, there is going to be miscommunication. And it's just the way it is. That's why a lot of good teams, a lot of championship-winning teams will have a dedicated defender. Just so you don't ever have to worry about that kind of miscommunication there. Which ended up with Rage getting a breakaway and increasing this lead to 4 goals. And Lizard Strikirs has no choice but to continue the way that they're playing to try to get back in this game. They're down by 4 goals. They do have a lot of time left, but they haven't broken through the defense or got past Boogie since the first period. Bacon working with the ball, has his entire team there, not able to connect a pass with him.
I'm not sure if Whitmer is having lag issues or not, but we have BG back in.
Okay.
Yeah, Whitmer's lagging a bit, so he's just given up the spot to prevent the constant cycling of players.
Yeah, because I saw Gatto in for a second too. So yeah, it definitely looks like a lag out. Lizard Strikirs working with the ball. Having trouble here. Yeah, having trouble moving forward, having trouble connecting passes. We'll see how this plays out. These feel like unforced errors at the moment. Banana Squadron working with CM Dros. Banana has the ball back, tries to get it. Image tries to get the ball back to Banana, unable to hit the pass. CM Dros there to pick it up though. And they maintain.
And now with Image back in the Javelin, it's going to make it harder for Lizards to try to get the possession off them.
I think so too. I really think so too. Banana with the ball here. Tries to go for the ball kill on the Javelin. Ballsy move. Look at the balls on Banana. He ends up getting possession of the ball back. Gets it over to Rage. It's kind of a safety option there. Really intelligently moving the ball here. Seconds are ticking down while they're doing this. Bob tries to pick off a pass that never came. Ends up getting a great opportunity for Banana Squadron. Lizard Striker's kind of losing patience with this possession, which I believe up until right now, I mean, I think that possession was almost a minute and a half long. Jarix working with the ball here. Ooh. I think he was looking for Bacon there to cut down, just missed the pass. I think that was a great offensive chance. Cereal and Milk pushing forward, ends up receiving a pass. He's going to try to cut down. Looks like he might have ran out of energy there. Oof. Image with a fantastic check, gets the ball to Banana, but Crazy Penguin is all over it. Bob trying to work through the defense. Another missed pass by Lizard Strikers. Bob now
See,
working with Jarix.
In this situation, the Lizard Strikers can't just let them sit on possession for a minute or a minute and a half. They have to make lunges. They have to make plays because the time's running out. And if they're just sitting back waiting for execution to lose possession, the game's just going to end before they know it.
Absolutely. I mean, I totally agree with you, but trying to get the ball away from these guys is really hard. You know, as I say that, they do it right there. Bob working with the ball has Jarix. They have Azaline up, who ends up going completely back to cover defensively on that offensive chance. That was odd. And now you have execution with another offensive chance here. Good ball rotation in front of the net. They're not able to see anything that they like. Banana's going to look for Image here. Crazy Penguin read it completely, though. Fantastic chance by execution. Better save by Crazy Penguin. Now, a little under 5 minutes left. The comeback dreams are kind of dying here as they're running out of time. Rage working with Banana on the bottom half. They have Dros and Image high. Unable to connect on the pass. Any mistake by execution right now just doesn't seem like it carries the same weight. Just because of the lead and the amount of time left. Rage working with those two in front of the net are unbelievable. I mean, they are doing so much with so little space. Rage and Blue Goku working there. Just working together, passing quickly, changing angles, making it really hard on Crazy Penguin, who looked like he was a little far back in his net. So, I mean, I think every statistic in this game is going to go towards the favor of execution. I think puck possession, ball time, shots, chances. This is really turning into a dominant game. Bacon with a chance here. Unable to get it through, though. He did hit the post. That's about as close as Lizard Strikers have got to a goal in the last two periods. Bop working here. Ends up getting checked by Cereal and Milk. Kind of dove into the defense. Banana working with Rage and Blue Goku. Jarix with a nice check from behind. 3.5 minutes here left in this third period.
I mean, Jarex's bullets in the Weasel have been doing a lot of checking, which
lot.
is something that we should get USADA to check post-match. Might need to have to
think so.
pee in a cup there.
Yeah, I think we absolutely need to do a PED screening because that guy is definitely hitting above his weight class right now for sure. Dross working with Banana. They gonna get one to him? No, it decides to go to Rage again. Crazy Penguin was all over it. I mean, to be fair, I mean he has put in 6 goals this game, but he has faced 31 shots and a lot more chances on top. Bob working with Jarix. His momentum didn't allow that ass pass to connect with Jarix. You know, another lost opportunity there for Lizard Strikirs. Rage ends up getting the ball in the offensive zone. He's working there. He's alone. Had the image low. I'm not sure what he was thinking there. That guy's flying a boat right now. If he's not next to that ball when you pass it, he's not going to get it. Bacon, working with Jarix, has Creature, finds a little bit of space, but no opening there. Looking to pass it back up. Creature was not reading the same play. We're down to 1:50 here at this third period. Banana, working with Dross, finds Image. Oh man, misses Image on that ass pass. That's gonna be in the team Discord after the game for sure. Bob, working with Jarix, finds Creature, just no room. Execution is getting back defensively so well right now. Even in the late moments of this game. Now with the game out of reach, where everybody's just basically finishing this game. You're seeing execution relax a little bit defensively and with their possession of the ball. Yeah, we're down to 1 minute left. Crazy Penguin passes it out to Azaline. Going to be one of the last possessions of the game. They are connecting their passes here right now. Gets the ball down low to Jarix. Tested Boogie a little bit, but I think he was pretty much on top of that. Rage with a nice check on Bacon to maintain possession. This could be the last possession of the game. We'll see how this goes. I imagine they're going to hold on to this first. Image working with Banana has options. Gets it to Image. Not able to get the ball by Crazy Penguin. That javelin rotation. Holding Image back there, I think. We're down to 6 seconds. Had opportunities there. Another missed pass offensively by the Lizard Strikirs.
Yeah, Crazy Penguin with 27 saves there, so all the action was in front of him.
Absolutely. I'm sure his goalie steal numbers were up there too. I mean, that's an incredible amount of shots to face in a game. So what's that, like a 33?
Some good maths there, Professor.
Yeah, right.
We also had Jarix with a positive checked to checking ratio
I'm not shocked
in the
by
Weasel.
That. I'm not. I am shocked by that, but after watching that game, I am not shocked. That guy was a force checking, absolutely. But I think when you're the most telling thing here is, you know, when your goalie has 41 puck carries and he has a minute of puck time. Like that was more. Like he had more puck time than CM Gross. You know, who played 2 periods of the game on the field. I think if you're looking at something like that, it's just, you know, entirely too much time spent in your defensive end. I don't even know if I've ever seen that before. A minute of puck time for the goaltender. But yeah, we're going to get to see some of these highlight reel goals from execution. We're going to be working on grabbing some post-game interviews. We're going to let these guys cool down a little bit. I am personally going to take a hot 2 seconds to grab a beverage.
Roger that, mate. So I guess being on execution and everybody that was playing in the match on execution at the moment have one drink in each hand and they're all spraying champagne all over each other in the locker room. I'll see if I can drag someone away for a minute. Looks like all the team shoving Banana Squadron out the door to do the post-match against his will.
That is what I'm hearing from 3 or 4 execution guys, that Banana Squadron will be stepping in the booth. We'll see.
Yep, Banana Squadron's taking the bullet for the team here. Everybody else is too busy getting drunk at the moment.
Whoa, I didn't say what kind of beverage it was.
I was just commenting on the locker room of execution at the moment where everybody's pushing Banana Squadron to do the post-match commentary because everybody else is...
I would love that. But I mean, if they're all... Okay, but all right. I mean, if they are popping the champagne after one game, that might be a little premature.
Well, I mean, to execution's benefit in regards to how that game played out, I guess I am on execution, so I am free to comment on the game in a nice and biased manner. Lizards didn't show anything of what they showed throughout most of the season, and what people were expecting from the Lizards were not there. So other than that one goal, which was just a poor turnover and breakaway, the game could have been 5-0, it could have been 10-0, 10-1. Any outcome that could have played out would have been similar to what it was now.
Right, and that's very similar to like what we saw in that in the early bird special versus Creasers game in game 1. And I think like this is like the thing that I like to look at is what did the team play? How much better can they play? And I think you saw a dominating win against Lizird, and you saw room where execution could have scored more. They could have dominated more defensively in the midfield. Like it could have been worse.
We could have had a few more Banana Squadron look-off goals when Image was lined up at top, but we only saw one.
But that being said, hello, nice. Banana Squadron. Welcome to
Hey,
we got Banana.
Good evening.
This is the first time Banana Squadron's on Discord, I believe.
I know, my heart's like fluttering a little bit.
No, it's not my first time, but it has been a while.
I'm a little starstruck right now.
Yeah,
thanks for doing this, guys. I really appreciate the effort.
The Twitch VOD's going to have hundreds of views after this.
Right.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically just your general comments and thoughts on how the game unfolded.
Yeah. Honestly, just to go off of what Revo just said, it was a pretty dominating performance. I think we really caught our stride pretty early on. Really good possession keeping, kind of drawing out the defenders, kind of leaving Alastria sort of isolated, which just gave us either a cross crease pass or just opened up maybe even a back pass and then a pass up top, and it was. I don't want to sound too cocky here, but it was pretty easy to move the ball around this evening. So.
Yeah, definitely. And in all honesty, like I give you guys all the credit in the world for the way that you guys played against them and were able to exploit them and kind of expose them defensively. But like those, like if you guys are all working on one half of the net, it is almost like, in my opinion, inexcusable for somebody like Rage or somebody like yourself or Blue Goku to be that late man cutting on the opposite side and not be covered in a playoff game. I just think that that's just like, it's like, once is like, okay, maybe you guys, maybe there was a miscommunication or whatever, but like multiple times, and I think it's kind of rough to watch that in a playoff game with Lizird Strikirs. But like now that I'm saying it, like that is something that you do end up seeing. Like watching a lot of like nerd crew games where people are so focused on trying to eliminate the obvious chances. Leafy made like a career by being that late trailing guy on the opposite side of the net. So I mean, I think you guys really, really did a good job against their defense.
And honestly, this may be giving advice to Lizards as well, and this is going to sound awfully cocky as well. But at the end of the day, the biggest problem for the losing team of any playoff hockey zone game is a lack of patience on defense. And some teams are better than others at being able to actually hit those passes when you're cycling them back and forth and drawing out defenders. Money Inc., obviously made legends of themselves way back in, what was it, season 12, 13? Is that when they went on their 3 or 4
Might
game
started
thing?
around 10 or 11.
Yeah,
I know it was right after Blue Liners was doing, which was like 9 to 11.
right. Yeah, somewhere around that time. We're all
Somewhere
getting
around that
old,
time,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I think, especially for the new guys listening, if there are any new guys, nope. But for any of the guys that want to listen to the stream, I think the important thing to take away is that it's not in your best interest to do a run and gun style, especially when you're playing a league game. Better to just cycle it back and forth. That's obviously been a success story for so many teams in the past. I mean, it's not just Money Inc. It's not just
It's all of them.
those guys with LD, Leaf, and Thrill, and UKM, and all that stuff. I mean, BSK was doing it. Dirty Birds was doing it. ITF was doing it. I mean, ITF maybe would be the outlier, and maybe even Blue Liners way back in the day. And that run and gun style, they were or counterattacking Hockey Zone was really successful for them.
Just
Yeah.
because it's the winning strategy doesn't mean it's the right thing to do.
as
I think it's gay as fuck.
Yeah, well, here's one guy who doesn't have any patience for that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think as the league has developed and settings have changed and metas have changed, the possession style is probably just as or more important than it ever was. 2v1s are so much more dangerous now than they ever were. The ability to score goals, get defenders moving, pixels of difference in shots. I think it really does lend towards a possession style of offense for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you've got it completely right there, Revo. Shit, I was gonna add something else to it, but I totally forgot.
If you want to just
Yeah,
look up
it's
at the
gone.
screen, at the teleprompter underneath the camera, you'll get you back on track.
Well, I just looked at our team chat for a second,
Yeah.
and
You're
it totally
no,
just
it's it's
threw me
okay.
on a loop.
Yeah, you're drunk on victory right now. I'm assuming.
Drunk in real life as well, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you guys had it's a dominant win. It really is. I think you stifled what Lizard Strikirs was trying to be able to do, and you did it with a deep bench. We really didn't see any drop off. As far as being able to stifle them defensively with all of your substitutions. So overall, just a great, just clean win. I mean, super clean.
Yeah, it was definitely our best outing in quite a while. I know we had a little team scrim last night against
Yeah.
Breakaway.
I think you need to throw out some thanks to Breakaway for getting the rust off, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, those guys are great. Dye and Gold and Cirrus. I mean, they've done just a great job. Keeping that squad alive, keeping them, interested, keeping them motivated, and if not for a really, well, rather unfortunate early season, we could have seen them in the playoffs this season.
We
So
definitely could have. But they did make a dedication to developing some new players, giving ice time to some players that necessarily weren't starters before. And I think by the end of the season, they really rounded that out. I mean, they did have the rookie in the league, the best rookie in the league. I think Anno ended up winning best goalie.
Oh yeah, well deserved. Although
Yeah.
Boogie actually, had a great season as well. I think he was like
Boogie had a dominant
90% save percentage or some shit like that.
Well, yeah, the goal. Okay, he didn't hit 90, and the reason why I know this is because he was mathematically calculating how many saves he needed in that Goth Milk game to get to 90%. Which,
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you guys, I use that as a motivating factor for our team.
Fair enough. You guys played a hell of a game. Boogie only has himself to blame, though. Let's be completely honest.
Right.
Yeah, he'll give
yeah,
me some business for that later, I'm sure.
that's fine. Yeah, I'm sure the Discord's blowing up right now. But yeah, overall, yeah, just a dominant win, great game. You look fantastic out there.
Thank you.
The chemistry that you guys have offensively looked wonderful. Especially like you with the rest of the offense. What Blue Goku and Rage did in very little space to create scoring opportunities was amazing. I mean, just freezing people, getting people to move just a little bit to produce offensive chances, I thought was just amazing.
Yeah,
yeah.
Those guys have been around the block. They know what they're doing.
Right.
Also, want to give Banana Squadron a shout out. Towards the end of the game, he started looking for the assist pass to Blue Goku instead of scoring them himself. The score could have been a lot higher than what it was, but the team player that he is, it's great to see. It's good for the locker room morale.
You know what, man? I'm gonna have to call out Blue Goku for not giving Roy Kent, aka Steve Shitmer, a couple of goals, couple of easy ones. I'm surprised those replays weren't saved because I saw them. So yeah, there you go, BG.
Yeah, the replay of the whole match is on Twitch, so it can be rewinded and cut those opportunities. Feel free to just snag those clips and paste them on the team Discord to point it out.
That'll be great going into game 2.
Yeah.
Just cause some inner turmoil.
You stole my word, dude. Literally, I had a full fucking promo.
This is
ready
your
to-
show. I'm done, Revo. I'm sorry. You go for it, man.
I had a full promo ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks again to Banana Squadron for the post-game interview. Fantastic game by execution. I think we're going to try to get somebody from Lizard Strikirs on here now. But with his ending quotes there, causing a little bit of turmoil in the execution locker room. So we'll see how that plays out for game 2.
Yeah, it may have the opposite effect, and we may just dominate. Who knows?
Sounds like you guys are pretty locked in and feel really comfortable with each other. So
Yeah, no, we've had a nice, calm, relaxing season. We were just hoping to potentially play those. I don't know, whatever. Lawn Dwarf and his children.
right.
But yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, man.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Take care, mate.
Thank
See
you.
ya. Thank you.
All right,
Whoa.
so we now have the representative of Lizard Strikirs for the post game interview, Jarix.
I'm sorry, I'm playing kind of too. So yeah, yeah,
Okay, well,
tough loss.
I know where your focus is going to lie, and that's going to be on this interview and not some rando scrim game.
Hmm.
But yeah, definitely a tough loss. Feel like they kind of solved you guys a little bit. Maybe like Werewolf made this point in the beginning of the game. I think a little bit overwhelmed at the beginning of the game.
We had some tough. The beginning was not good for sure. Like the first 2 goals were scored pretty quick, and it was like no shit situation. But I think we came through, and that second half of the first period was pretty well for us.
Yeah, and a
We
good
just-
good chunk of the second period too.
Yeah, and I mean, it really boils down to we have 3 guys on the ice who have never played a playoff game ever.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, Creature,
Yeah,
Azuline,
yeah.
and Bacon.
And
They've
Bob.
never been in a playoff game.
Oh,
So it's we're versing the super team who has a million fucking blackies between them, and
yeah,
it's a little bit different. They don't know playoff style yet.
I agree.
They've seen it now, so I think game 2 would come out stronger.
Yeah, I agree. I think that maybe that should have been more of a focus of the broadcasting team.
I mean, Lizard, like literally 3 of our guys have never been in a playoff game, other than the playing game this season, which I don't call a playoff game really.
It technically is. I mean, it technically is a playoff game, but I understand exactly what you're saying. Now that you say that, I think that's probably something that we should have focused on a little bit more. I just sort of like, whenever I look at Lizards, I know that you guys have been around for a while, and I know the chemistry that you guys have between each other. So I think I might have bumped those guys up a little bit more than maybe I should have, because that first playoff game is huge. You know, it really, really is.
The first series, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like getting onto that stage, understanding the weight of the game, what the stakes are. You know, but yeah, I mean, now that you say that, it makes a lot more sense, because you guys weren't clicking where I would have expected you to click, and passes weren't being made and decisions weren't being made that I think I got used to you guys making, watching you during the season, and also going up against
Reset Ball.
Well, and just a formidable roster and a formidable team in execution.
It's tough, but I mean,
yeah,
they
just one game, man. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, that's like the big thing. Like, if you lose, you lose. It doesn't matter by how many goals. At the end of the day,
we still got a fighting chance. I think We might play a little differently. Just try to be more possession oriented to go that route because everybody else. I guess you have to do that in the playoffs, and now they kind of know that. So
It really depends. I mean, you guys can develop your own strategy.
I mean, if we could get the first goal, I think it would be a lot better when you're down 2-0 versus a team that's just resetting and
Well,
resetting. It's tough.
that's honestly where it happens, and like you'll hear that, like if you ever talk to like Londorf, or you talk to You Kill Me, or guys that like really were proponents of possession strategy. If
All I want to say is we definitely need a shot clock. 100%. That would make it so much better. Just imagine.
I mean, if you want to play basketball zone, we might be able to get that back in and maybe form a league there if you want.
No,
Oh,
like just regular hockey with the shot clock. Like a minute,
okay.
you get a minute to either shoot the ball
Mhm.
or lose possession.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I'm just saying.
Okay, I'll pass that on to
Spitballing. Pass it on to the crew.
yeah, I'll pass that on to the rules committee. See how they feel about it, man. I'm not hopeful, but like I can't. I'm not going to turn it down right. Yeah, but I mean, in all honesty, I think that the game was close.
Yeah, it was closer than the score, I think, showed. We let in some stupid goals.
Yeah, rough goals, definitely. I like some of the stuff that I saw out of the Lastria and the Leviathan. And then also at times I didn't like it. In all honesty, like I thought, like nothing against the Lastria and the Leviathan. It's just like the Leviathan does what the Leviathan does, and I think the one of the biggest takeaways that I took from that game is what execution was able to do with very little space, with the defense covering the other side. Like you saw Blue Goku and Rage score like 2 or 3 goals, only working on one half of the net. Which is incredible. I mean, you don't see that very often. Normally, you have to change of the angle of attack way more than that, and they were able to get some goals in on you.
I know
Only working on one half of
CP
the
was
net.
wanting a lot of those back for sure. He's
Definitely,
like, oh, I should have had that. Yeah, when you get beat weak side and you have crease hitters up top,
it hurts.
it hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts, man. But I mean, the reason why you're getting beat that way is either the puck movement is just so
Yeah.
clean and crisp that you do get beat that way just because of how small goalie prox is. If a goalie moving has huge prox.
If you have momentum going one way, there's no way you're going to come back.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like a goalie moving has
Yeah.
huge prox. You know what I mean? Because that prox is moving with the goalie, and that's how much you can cover. But if somebody makes you stutter, somebody makes you sit still, or whatever, the goalie prox is so small. Because in reality, it's like 2.5 times a normal ship. And like everybody knows how small the prox of a single ship is, and that's all a goalie really is. It's not huge, but because of the way that it's able to move, it can cover so much more space. But if they catch you off guard, or you get caught back inside of your own net and you're not out challenging, and I think he got pushed back in his net a little bit, and I think he got caught flat-footed sometimes.
Speaking of Craze Penguin, Jowerix, do you think that this is Craze Penguin's best performance?
No, I mean, he had a ton of saves, and that's because we let a ton of shots. I think he knows that he made some. He even said it, like, I made some mistakes, but I mean, he also had a freaking amazing, like, I
was
would
some-
never
there
say
was
anything
some-
bad about him. He's the reason
Yeah.
why we're in the playoffs for sure.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Because he makes the saves that you have to make. You know, and he doesn't turn the ball over like on his outlet passes very often, which is a huge plus as well.
Yeah, I thought his outlet passes were fantastic this game, and after the first like 3 or 4 minutes of the first period, I think he looked really good.
Hmm. Yeah,
He-
just a little shaky at first.
He made a lot of fantastic saves in that first period.
He's done that all season. I mean, there's no reason why he shouldn't have been an All-Star ballot winner.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I don't-
was shocked by that too.
So do we have the goalie rankings as Anno number 1, Crazed Penguin number 2, Boogeyman number 3?
Possibly
Linux number 3 actually.
3A, 3B, Linux Boogeyman, possibly 3B Boogeyman.
We get Moby in there as well, maybe.
Yeah, Moby. Okay, yeah, Moby 3,
Okay, Moby, Infinite H.
Arcadian.
Hmm.
Um,
Let's get Ghislaine in there, and
yeah, Ghislaine.
So Boogie's actually going so far down on the goalie list, he's actually rising on the Weasel list.
I think so.
Full circle, man. Just going full circle. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Jowrix. I think the game was closer than the score says. But you guys still got you guys got beat. In
We
a lot
got
of
beat
areas.
pretty good, and that
Yeah,
was
you got beat.
we like both games this season against them. We won one, and then we got to OT in the second, and they were both close. And this one was the score was not very close most of the time. So
I think I was looking for more of the same in this playoff game, but also understanding and giving respect to execution, and also giving respect to the fact that this is, the first playoff game for a lot of your guys.
just had to get it all out of our, get the jitters out.
'cause honestly, and then like that taste in your mouth that you get when you lose a game in the playoffs, like I think that's something people have to learn, because it
Mhm.
sucks so bad. It tastes so awful that you just never want it to happen again. And I think like people learn from that and move on from that and understand, this is how much I have to focus. This is how much I want to win. This is how much I want to beat this team. Because I think you guys have the capability. I think you guys are explosive enough offensively. I think you're solid enough defensively to hold them off. I think Chris Penguin is a fantastic goalie. Maybe rated, 4th best this season, but still a great goalie. And those rankings really don't matter because you're looking at a one-on-one matchup in this playoff series. And a big thing is that you guys didn't really test Boogie that much. So if you come out and test him in game 2, it could be a completely different story.
100%. Yeah, we didn't get to him enough.
Yeah,
For sure.
definitely not.
All of our shot, we had like the one shot was good, and the rest were kind of pretty easy saves for him. I think.
They were literally whatever. I remember your goal. I remember a handful of missed chances where maybe something could have developed, and then outside of that, I don't. I think he had 10 or 11 saves by the end of the game. He was definitely not tested. But I'm looking forward to game 2 of the series, which we're gonna be seeing
Sunday, 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Sunday the 26th at 10 p.m. Is when we're going to be seeing game 2 of this series. And then Monday would be game 3. And then we'll be moving on to see the winners of this series face Early Bird Strikirs in the finals for season 34.
How the hell did that happen? Why are they already waiting? That's crazy.
I don't know, man. They just won that fast. Game 3 would have been tomorrow. So at least you would have got
True.
one game in before the end of it. But yeah, well, I mean, 3-game series, they go by fast. The finals are a completely different story. Yeah, that 5-game series is a story in itself. The
Especially when
season's a
you get
story.
a bunch of bunch
You
of
know,
delays or whatever schedule fucking going
I
on.
mean, we had a lot of delays that ended up, extending the season by a couple weeks, which could have affected you guys too. I mean, don't count that out either. Like
Yeah,
you
they
guys
played a game a lot more recent than we have. Actually,
know,
never mind.
I know,
We
right?
had the play-in game. Never mind. I forgot about that.
Well, I don't think Execution had a game for the last 3-4 weeks.
It could possibly have been a month.
I'm gonna have to talk to BA too, using my alma mater to warm up.
Yeah.
To warm up my enemy team. Jeez.
Yeah, it's, see what you can do. I mean, maybe you're not as close of friends as you thought, man.
No, guess I'm not grandfathered in anymore.
Right. All right. Thanks to Jowrix for coming on for the Lizard Strikirs portion of the post-game interview. I think we're going to be winding down here now. I'm not sure if we have anybody else that would like to hop on. I see a Crazed Penguin and a Dross Man, a Cereal Milk.
I think that's about it for now, unless anybody has changed their mind.
Twitch HZ. No? Okay.
Tracy coming on.
Yep, we'll save a few more people for after the next game. If it's possibly the end of the semi-series, then there might be a few more people that want to speak up.
Absolutely, yeah. Like in all honesty, like whoever wants to speak can. I appreciate everybody that comes on and talks after a game because I know people have busy lives and schedules, and these games are intense. So
Yeah, so the next game is Sunday night, 10 p.m. server time. So I mean, everybody should definitely tune into that because it's going to be a close affair once again.
I mean, I think we're going to see kind of a repeat of the CR series where game 2 is going to be a lot closer than game 1. We'll see if Lizard Strikirs is able to kind of rally the troops. They have a long break here in between games. They have a lot of time to digest what happened. And I think we're going to see a great game in game 2 on Sunday at 10. But I just want to thank everybody that listened, everybody that contributed, everybody that listened on Twitch. And we didn't know you were there, but we appreciate that too. The guys that came on to talk afterwards, it was really nice to talk to Banana Squadron and Jowrix. Thanks to Stephanie for everything that she does, making this broadcast so much better. Thanks to Werewolf for
Wait.
Yeah, doing the commentary with me. But yeah, it's been a great experience.
Just want to give a quick thank you to Kazi as well for his intro tonight. It was great.
Yes, his intro was great. His interview was great too.
Yep, for speaking of the game, thank you.
Yeah, that was great to Kazi too. But yeah, I'm gonna sign